sometimes it's a bit challenging where you have to be every here and there, but it's good to have those processes that can help you do things quicker, faster, and more efficiently. Also, from a point of distinct capabilities, now every company, every value-adding company is known for one thing. I mean, I'll give you an example. The global brand IKEA is the leading home furniture brand. What is it known for? It's known for efficiency, scalability, and fast operations. It's also known for effective customer management. It knows what the customer wants. It's also known for speed. Those processes are in place to support the business. Now, to support that, you need to put investment in such businesses. Those investments that help you build the right products. Another example, if you look at Amazon, for example, Amazon is known for a very efficient supply chain. That's a backward efficient supply chain from all the way from vendors to the customer. And they deliver, they're basically an online retail store that delivers efficiently to the customers. Now, you would agree with me, to replicate that kind of thing has its concerns and challenges. You need funding to put, you need the right working capital to build production lines. You need the right working capital to roll out sales. You even need technology. All these things cost money. And for me, which is very important, is building the right systems and structures. There's a report that the PwC did that says companies with the right optimal capital structure are 3 times more likely to grow faster than their industry. So what systems and structures are important for Go? I've identified 6 pillars or 6 items. I mean, there can be more, but these are what I think are very critical. One is having the best or good corporate governance practices. What am I talking about? We're talking about things like removing management from ownership. What does that mean? It means that I understand that sometimes with the pressure of returns, owners are more concerned with returns. Managers are not. Managers are more concerned with growth and strategy and operational efficiency. So it's good to separate management and ownership from your business, because there are certain times that the pressure of an economy, take for example Nigeria, the issues of the recession, can make you want to claw back on some of your operations, claw back on some of your people. All those affect your deliverability. Maintaining an optimal capital structure. There is a need to have a balance in debt and equity. Now, a lot of companies have excessive debt, and that is why they actually fail. There is a balance for debt and equity. I know there is a fear regarding opening your company up. There's a risk of dilution. There's a risk of other people taking it. But honestly, you have to have a balance. You also need the right collaborations and partnership. 2 of the previous speakers, Engineer Namdi Slot, spoke about having the right partnerships. And that's important because there are certain things your business can deliver, and there's some other areas that you might be looking to. Also very important is to have a very strong management team, and that also speaks to your organizational structure. Now, some companies operate either a functional or independent structure. It depends on what your business is. Uber, for example, operates an independent structure. Why does it do that? Because it needs the flexibility. The drivers are everywhere. It needs the flexibility to do things quickly. It doesn't need a proper reporting line. Basically talks. Another thing that I wanted to emphasize was speaking about optimal capital structure. And a lot of businesses tend to have issues with debt. And that's because there is a type of funding structure that fits your business. Now, if you look at the evolution of where a startup starts from. A startup starts from an idea. One person has an idea. He starts the business. Along the line, he might find one or two other people who share in that idea or that belief, and they become co-founders. Those co-founders are actually responsible for funding the company. Most support then comes from family and friends or angel investors. It's wrong at that point in time to be looking for bank loans or highly get debt, because the business is not structured or formalized for that. Along the line, maybe the company goes much bigger. Structures are now coming in place. It becomes more attractive for investment, seed investment. And that's where typically PE firms, venture capitalists look out for. They look for businesses that, one, are easily scalable. They look for businesses that have some form of structure or corporate governance. Even though you might have a great idea, they don't want to come and run your company. Well, some do, but the whole idea is to have a business that has some structure so that management is a lot easier and leading. Then over time, the company has grown. There are also times where the company can now consider, and that can be either from maybe the PE firms or the VCs wanting to exit your business, or you're looking to expand more rapidly, and so you need a larger profile, a larger platform to engage the market, or you require more visibility, or even from a point where the owner wants to dilute. Dilution might just be in part, he wants to try other things, Then an IPO or coming to the public market becomes very interesting and acceptable. So if you look at some global success stories, most of these companies you all know, and incidentally, they're all fintechs. No reason for that. He had said that if you don't have, and that's Engineer Nambi, let me quote him, if you don't have technology ingrained in your business, it is very hard to grow, because technology supports efficiency, it supports processes. So we have a few companies here, Facebook, Alibaba, and Jumia, our African champion, who all started as entrepreneurs. They started from an idea. Very interestingly about most companies here is that they probably were not the ones that invented their product or created their product, but they took it to another level. And that's why, and they were able to take that to another level because of the systems and structures they put in place. Most of them over time raised private equity. VCs looked at them and said, oh, this business is scalable. You have processes to work to support your business. And all of them came to the capital. Why do you come to the capital? Beyond just raising capital, it supports sustainability. Because one of the important things for listed companies is having the right corporate governance structures that can outlive the owners. So let me bring it a bit home. In Nigeria, the NSC is the Africa's foremost securities exchange, and we're championing Africa's growth. We're serving a market with a market cap of about $71 billion. 165 companies on the board. And as well, we've also have about 153 bonds. These bonds could either be federal, state, corporate. We've seen a lot of companies come and raise bonds, which prevents the risk of dilution. What is the value proposition of coming to the capital market, if I might add? Like I said earlier, sustainability, having a higher profile, public profile, because you are now talking to a larger audience, you're talking to a global arena. You have access to global investors. So it gives you a lot of visibility to scale up. It also gives you access to deep investor pools as well. And most importantly, and which I like the most, is business continuity. We have a problem with business continuity in Nigeria. And that is because a lot of companies avoid the public market and avoid corporate governance and end up dying or withering because either the owner is no longer interested or he dies. So let me talk a bit about some of the companies that are on the stock exchange. Steplat, for example. Incidentally, Steplat is 10 years old. It's one of the newest oil and gas companies. And you know that there are a lot of oil and gas companies that have been around for years. But Steplat is now one of the leading oil and gas companies in its sector. And why is that? It imbibed the right corporate governance structures. It built its systems up. That gave it opportunity to raise a lot of money from the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the London Stock Exchange. It's currently listed on both exchanges. It was able to raise over $500 million. It has used that money to support expansion, to grow beyond what he had planned for. Now it's going to raise another $700 million in a gas project. Let me skip Airtel. Dangote, our very own African champion. Dangote's business has been here for, I think, in the 70s, so that's 40 years, you know. But incidentally, the growth in Dangote happened in the last 15 years, and that was the moment he decided to bring his business to the stock exchange, provide the right visibility. It meant a lot of things. It meant steering management away from ownership. It meant a lot of things in terms of ethical operations, integrity, you know, removing conflict of interest. Those things are very important. And he was able to do that. And that has supported his African growth story. He's now the leading African champion. In the case of Zenith, which is quite interesting, because one other issue that a lot of young entrepreneurs face, and we can allude to that, is the problem of regulation, over-regulation. Be it whether it's tax, be it whether it's compliance. In the case of the banking industry, it was more about raising additional capital to support their business. So Zenith, in the last 15 years, has overcome two critical market-induced regulatory hurdles, one was the 25 billion market cap requirement in 2005. It came to the market in 2004, was able to raise enough capital, and the rest is history. Closer to home for me, it's Fitzin. Fitzin started at a very small pharmaceutical company. And Fitzin started in 1995, and over time, it's been able to grow his business. It is able to raise capital. And he has been able to raise capital because it has put in the right structures, the right operations, the right management team. One of the issues we've also had with listing is the requirements are tedious.